Your wish is your command. How's everyone doing today? Today I want to go over what I learned from the CD audio series. Now, a lot of you may be looking for this program online, and it was pretty easy to find right now. What you guys need to do, follow my set of directions so you can get this completely for free. What you guys want to do, you guys want to go to any of my videos. From here, you can click on my link in the descriptions. When you click on that link, it's going to take you to a sales page. From here, what you want to do, you want to just tap buy now. When you tap buy now, if you don't want to read through this whole sales page, perfectly fine. You're going to be looking at this checkout page. You want to use the coupon code. This is what you need. Your wish is your command, YWIYC. You can use all caps or lowercase. Doesn't really matter. Once you apply, you can see that the discount code has been applied. You're saving yourself $500. You want to come back on top, fill out the contact, payment, and also your bill information. From there, it's not going to charge you anything. Just tap complete my order. After you tap complete my order, you want to check your email a little bit. Make sure that you get it in your inbox. If it's not in your inbox for whatever reason, no big deal. Check your spam folder. If it's in your spam folder, we drag it back into your inbox. Tap on that email, and there's going to be a link in that email which is going to take you to the 14 audio series, Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires. What is this program all about? I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of the sales page, explain a little bit about what this program is about. Now, if you're into any of these following authors or speakers, such as Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Joe Vitale, Tony Robbins, Earl Nightingale, Joe Dispenza, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Cadet Robert, Ed Foreman, Joe Bauer, Grant Cardone, Dennis Whaley, Marshall Silver, Neville Goddard. If you follow any of these people, I want you guys to know that this is definitely up your alley. If you're into the law of manifestation, if you love reading the book The Secret, you're trying to piece the puzzle together, you're on this journey of personal development, you want to be looking into this program. Now, what I'm also going to experiment, also doing a little bit of recording. Hopefully it doesn't crash on the computer. Doing a lot of things at the same time. So what I'm trying to do is show people how they can get this program for free, but I'm also going to go through and share with you what I learned from this program. And I think it will be very helpful for you when we are on this path of personal development. And I've been on it for quite a long time. I've been at it since I was in my early 20s, read through a lot of different books, audio CDs. The problem is that I wasn't able to piece the information together. And I will show you how I pieced the puzzle together with my own personal health using these set of directions or principles, or you can call them, or lessons, specific lessons regarding your wish is your command, the law of manifestation. Now, through this presentation, I'll be drinking some coffee, okay? Get some water. If you have any questions for me, don't be shy. You have the live chat box right there. So for example, I'm just going to type in there, probably from another account. Hello. So that's me right there. So if you guys have any questions for me on this presentation, just shout out. All right. Welcome, welcome. So I got a couple of accounts. Hello. Okay. So that's me. You're not listening to some pre-recorded thing. You are listening live, and then you have questions on this live call. Just jump on and ask me questions. So your wish is your command. This is a CD set introduced to me a couple of years ago by my own brother. And I started listening to it. I was like, man, this guy's making a lot of sense. I've been on this personal development journey for quite some time. How come I cannot piece the puzzle together? Or I'm making some progress along the way, but it seems like it is one step forward, two steps back. Now, there are specific lessons in the CD set or audio series. You get it for free. I explain how you can get it for free. These 4 specific lessons are: who do you listen to? Teachability index, training balance scale, and 4 steps to learning or 4 steps to mastery. The very first lesson that people often overlook. It sounds way simple. Who do you listen to? According to Kevin, he says, listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Pay attention to this. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Now, throughout my adult life, most of my adult life, I've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. Share a little bit of myself. I used to struggle with a lot of weight loss rebound. So basically, you lose a couple of pounds, you do calorie counting, you do MyFitnessPal, and you will make some progress, but somehow you will gain it all back and then some. That's what weight loss rebounding is. And people told me back then, the reason why you're not getting the type of results you're looking for is because you got to get yourself a trainer. You got to go get yourself somebody that can help you on this journey. So me, I was in downtown San Diego at the time, Southern California, and this is me. And I was weight loss rebounding. I went down to this Horton Plaza. There was a Horton Plaza. Inside that Horton Plaza, there was a 24-hour fitness. When I was there, you know, these trainers have been pulling up, be like, hey, I can help you with this. We're going to get your exercise program right. We're going to test your caliper, see your body fat percentage. The reason why I had problem going down to 24-hour fitness that time, simply because those trainers, they were even more out of shape than I was. They had a higher body fat percentage than I had. But we've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. And some people, there's just says, hey, they're certified in this. They probably went to school for this. They know more than you do. So you should be listening to them regardless. Is that really the right mindset we should be having? Who are you listening to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. It's both. It's not just, okay, you got to listen to people with the right certificates, the right pedigree, and coming up from the right school. Have they demonstrated the results which you're looking for? This picture on the left, I struggled with this since my late 20s. It was absolutely horrible. And right now, I have a six-pack ass pretty much all year round. All year round. This is what I look like. Scroll down a little bit further. So 2015, this is down in San Diego. I live in Taiwan now. This is where I live. And for the last couple of years, I haven't even been to the gym. What changed? Pay attention. I stopped listening to a lot of people. I stopped listening to a whole bunch of random people online, or stopped talking to personal trainers, because they're not going to help you and get to your destination if they can't even achieve or demonstrate the results themselves. I'll give you another example of my own personal health. Years ago, I also struggled not just with my weight loss rebound. I had nasal congestion. I had joint pains. I also had restless feet syndrome. Maybe some of you don't even know what restless feet syndrome is all about. You can go on YouTube and just type in restless feet syndrome. Your feet, they start to move like they are possessed all on their own. It was absolutely horrible. And there was nothing that I was doing that could fix it. You go to the doctor, doctors tell you, hey, just take these meds. And for your sinus congestion or for your restless feet syndrome, you may get some relief in the short term, but they come back, or you are dealing with side effects from the first set of medications that you're dealing with. When you're taking Claritin daily, like I did back then, you will get drowsiness. You may have some temporary relief for a few hours, but rest of the day, you are drifting in and out. It was a horrible, horrible existence. Who was I listening to? Can these doctors really take me to the promised land? Have they demonstrated vibrant health for themselves? Let me give you another very clear-cut example that could be very poignant on your journey. A few months ago, I took my own family member to the ER. It was an emergency situation. While I was there, these doctors, once again, they'd be pulling up. They'll be like, hey, while you're here, we're going to do your vital signs, which is your heart rate, respiratory rate, check your blood oxygen. Going to have you do the ECG or the EKG, the electrocardiogram. You're going to do the x-ray, make sure you don't have any broken bones. You're going to do a whole bunch of errands. You're going to do your lab work for about 45 minutes, an hour and a half. Then they're going to come back and evaluate your lab reports. They're going to say, hey, over here, you got some numbers that are out of range, within range. Out of range, within range. out of range, within range. Are those ready to critique your lab results? Now, a lot of these doctors I was looking at, they didn't even look healthy themselves. Now, none of this is professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You guys got to seek your advice to your physician, other qualified health providers, any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. All I'm saying is I got to put that in the video so I don't get in trouble. But you really need to take a quick look at your medical doctor, or you're talking about your family doctor. We're not talking about emergency situations. When you have a broken bone, yes, your doctors, they can fix you. They can patch you in real quick. You're probably out the door within a few days. But when you are dealing with chronic diseases, many of these doctors, they're suffering with the same problems. They have diabetes. They have hypertension. They're just going through this day in and day out. They have so many patients they have to go through. They're probably on a whole battery of different medications. And some of them, they're extremely overweight. Isn't it time for you to go to your family doctor and says, you know what, doc, today we're going to do something very different. Why don't you get up on that scale? We're going to measure your weight. Why don't you get up on that? We're going to measure your height. From these two numbers, we're going to get your body mass index, your BMI. If you have a body mass index over 30, I got to find me a different family doctor. I'm going to find me a different general doctor. A general doctor is pretty much somebody that just refers to different specialists anyway. I'm just saying, who are you listening to right now? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. As I share a little bit of my own personal journey, from this picture on the left to the picture on the right, I stopped listening to the wrong people. I had to listen to people who actually demonstrated success. Maybe these people, they were naturopathic doctors. They were holistic practitioners. They work with different herbs. They talked about homeopathy, a lot of different books that I started reading. And I kept chasing these people, finding about their personal life. How did they eat? How do they rest? How do they manage stress? And these people, they're not having a whole bunch of ups and downs throughout the year. They're consistently healthy throughout the whole year. If that's something that what you want, okay, you need to evaluate right now. If you're not getting the results that you want, am I listening to people who they have been where I'm at and they are in a place where I want to be? Maybe you're a lady right now, you're in your 40s, had a couple of kids. Now, it doesn't make any sense for you to listen to some 21-year-old kid because your body's been through a lot. A couple of kids already, a lot of hormonal imbalances, could be thyroid issues. If you go to a 21-year-old kid, how is he or she going to help you get to the results that you want? They have no idea what your body's been through. You may have to work with somebody who's a little bit older, maybe 45, 50, 55. And these people, they're on a naturopathic modalities and they're consistently healthy throughout the whole year. See what I'm talking about? Who are you listening to? And these principles, these lessons, they sound so simple. They sound so reasonable, but we miss the mark all the time. Because we listen to people, some random people, and they may have a lot of followers on Instagram, and we just assume, yeah, they definitely have the results. They know what they're doing, or they know what I'm coming from. Do your research. If you listen to everybody, you listen to nobody. Just like if you have a document, a text document, and then if you bold everything, if you highlight everything, you try to make everything important. Nothing is important. You got to start to funnel and start to be very specific about who you're listening to. Once again, listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. How's that first lesson for you? Thanks for being on this call. If you have any questions for me, put it in the live chat. You know, I want to have an interaction with people that are spending their time on this call, right? And just real quick, if you want to get this program, just use the link in my descriptions. I've already explained how to get it. Let's jump on to the next lesson. Another lesson that many people miss. Teachability index, or the coachability index. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? Also, what is your willingness to accept change? I'm going to have to explain this very, very clearly. When people ask each other, or you get asked, hey, are you teachable? Are you coachable? Most people will respond, yes, I'm very teachable, I'm very coachable. How do you quantify something like that? How do you know if you are coachable? How do you know if you're teachable? It comes from these two variables. Number one, you need to give yourself a score from 0 to 10 with your willingness to learn. You need to give yourself a score from 0 to 10 with your willingness to learn. What is your willingness to learn right now? I'm going to share with you how you can quantify this number. What is your willingness to learn? How do you quantify something like this? Or how do you know if you have a willingness to learn? What is your favorite activity right now? What is your beloved activity that you look forward to every single day, every weekend, every month? Most people, they come home after work. What do? Their favorite activity is watching TV. They like to turn on their Amazon Prime videos, catching their favorite TV shows, or they are just scrolling online, social media. They are drinking with their friends, going out to the clubs on the weekends. Maybe they're playing golf with their friends, PlayStation, video games. Those are their favorite activities. Are you willing to set aside your favorite activities and you're going to say, hey, I'm no longer doing this set of activities. I'm going to take those precious hours that I have. I'm going to replace them with audios that could benefit me. It could be a podcast. I'm going to replace them with books, replace them with online courses, or I'm going to conferences in person, something that is going to help me in the right direction. I'm going to learn more skills in the areas of my health, areas of my finances, or relationships. You have to prioritize those things. And that's how you know if you have that willingness to learn. Because most people, they usually drop out of my calls, these live calls, once they're hearing this, because they're like, man, because most these meditation channels or law manifestation channels, what do they talk about? They talk about you just got to feel good, you got to visualize, you got to do your vision boards. What do you got to do? You get yourself some crystals. If the crystals are not working, give yourself more crystals. Do another astrological chart, not just Western astrology. Get it from Chinese astrology. And people are still lost in the midst of all that. Because most people, they're not willing to learn anything new outside the current scope of awareness. Previously, me, over here, not teachable, right? 1 step forward, 2 steps back, making a little bit of progress with my own weight, and I gain it all back and then some. Like I said, I missed the first lesson, which was I listened to the wrong people. What I'm here is I'm sharing you mistakes that I made myself. So throughout this journey, you can help. I may be able to help you avoid some of these mistakes. How do I go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, where I have a six-pack abs all year round, without going to the gym? I know a lot of y'all don't believe me. I have not been to the gym for years. Believe me, I have exercise equipment at home, okay? But I'm not destroying my body trying to, like I used to do before. Many things have changed. I started to be willing to learn about new information about health, not just from a place of symptoms, because doctors, they say, all you got to do is treat your symptom with these medications. Yes, a sinus congestion. All right, let's get some Claritin. And after the Claritin stop working, come back to me. I'm going to have prescription strength after the OTC is done. I started learning about human physiology. I started to increase my ability to learn, my ability to, what are these naturopathic doctors or holistic practitioners, what do they talk about? They always come back to the terrain. They're looking at human physiology. They're looking at, listen, if you're chronically constipated, there's a lot of problem that is just stacking up behind the scenes that you don't know about. And it's going to show up as bad breath. It's going to show up as foul body odor. It's going to show up as nasal congestion. It's going to show up in many different ways for you. I had to pick up my willingness to learn by setting aside my favorite activities. Could be a combination of video games. I love to play basketball, spend a lot of time watching sports, and that could be an addiction too. I had to set all that stuff aside and be like, you know what, my health is not moving in the right direction. Tell me. Start picking up a lot of different books, start chasing down naturopathic practitioners. There was a time I was very aggressive. Back in 2013, 2014, I even met Charlotte Gerson. Charlotte Gerson, the daughter of Max Gerson, he's the one that created the Gerson therapy. You guys can look him up. And I started to read her books cover to cover. What was she talking about? Well, one of the things that they do at the clinic are coffee enemas. Get the waste material out of the body. And I start reading one practitioner after the next. I don't care if it's Patricia Braggs. I don't care if it's Charlotte Gerson. I don't care if it's this, that, and the third. They always talked about detoxification because many people, they're dealing with a colon that is congested with fecal matter, unresolved. Once again, I just want to bring about human physiology real quick. So you guys want to learn something today. Put you guys on game because a lot of you don't know. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus into your stomach. Digestive enzymes breaking down the food. And over time, food is going to enter your small intestines next for nutrient absorption. The small intestines is very long. It is 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet. Then it's going to enter your large intestines for feces formation. Your large intestines is about 1.5 meters, another 5 feet in length. The combined length of your small and large intestines is 20 feet. Just think about how long that pipework is. Another way you can look at this is simply, this is an animated diagram. Your digestive system is a very long piece of pipework. What goes through your mouth? Whatever you eat through your mouth must exit out the back as waste elimination. If it's not going out, you're going to have problems. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you're here on this call and you agree with me, show me some love. Show me if you're paying attention. So what is your willingness to learn? You need to set aside your favorite activity that to say, all right, I want to better my finances. All right, or better my health. Let's stick with health. And for the next 30 days, how many of those 30 days are you setting aside your favorite activity and you're listening to that audio on health practitioners, you're picking up books and reading those books on natural health, you're attending conferences, you're doing something. So you're working on health. How many of those days out of 30? If you're only doing 10 out of 30, that means you're only at 33%. You can give yourself a score of 3 out of 10 with your willingness to learn. That's how you can quantify this part right here. Your willingness to learn, okay? Next part, many people miss this part as well. What is your willingness to accept change? What is your willingness to accept change? This is where rubber meets the road. Many people, some of them, they are professional learners. They have library full of books, CD sets, even exercise programs. There was a time P90X, it was like one of the hottest selling thing. You go on any infomercial, it was P90X everywhere. Then it was Tybo, maybe Tybo first and then P90X, whatever. All I'm saying is people got all this information regarding health. They on the QVC, they're buying programs on health, or they have even the Peloton. But when it comes to the actual exercise, they're not doing anything. They think that it's just get the information, put it in my library, in my downloads folder, somehow that's going to change my life. What is your willingness to accept change is actually doing the exercises with Tony Horn. You can't just be watching Tony Horn on DVD set, watching Tybo doing his thing, and you're out there on your couch eating potato chips. But most people, that's what they do. And they're wondering why their life is not moving in the right direction. And of course, this type of information is not feeling good, right? Some of you going to be like, wow, it's really in my face. I don't really like what I'm hearing right now. Let me go and jump back into another meditative track to help me feel better. No. Y'all, you guys got to listen to this. Teachability index. I did not go from this picture on the left to the picture on the right, just consuming more information. Attending another conference, buying another book, listen to the audio CD set. I needed to do the protocols. I need to do the detox protocols. I needed to get the waste material out of my body because I was also dealing with chronic constipation, embarrassingly. But most people don't talk about what chronic constipation is. Let me help you identify and define what chronic constipation is. Most people, they're eating 2 to 3 meals per day, 2 to 3 meals, 2 to 3 meals. If you're not going to the bathroom every single day, what do you think is going to happen to your health? All that waste material, all that feces is just going to get more, bigger and bigger, compacted inside the colon until you may even have your colon burst. In worst case situation, you may go into sepsis shock. That is potential what could happen for many people. Or doctor said certain part of your colon is completely deadened. We have to remove it. We have to do a hemicolectomy, or we're going to have to install a colostomy bag, or we're going to have to do an ileoanal anastomosis. Part about recovering your health, you need to look at liabilities, concerns way in advance before you even have them. If you're not going to the bathroom every single day, consistently on the clock, okay, you need to do something. And you can't just be like, I'm going to take some laxatives and fix it. That's what I did. It will work in the short term, and they stop working. And some of them, you're huffing and puffing on the toilet. You are like this character over here. You're squeezing really, really hard every single day. And after all that work, what did you get? You get a small little pebble. You have no idea where all that food went. And eventually, you may get something called anal fissures, or you may end up with hemorrhoids. And when you go to your general doctor, what do they say? Oh, you go see your proctologist. Many of you don't even know what a proctologist is. A proctologist, these are specialized doctors. They only look at the colorectal area. Which area? This area right here, colorectal. And they're going to do some surgical procedures to help you patch up this area. But you always have to think about, where is the problem? The problem is on top. They're fixing this bottom area right here, the colorectal area around the anus. If you cannot fix this problem, you're going to have recurring problems such as hemorrhoids, anal fissures, abscesses and fistulas, just chronic constipation, chronic inflammation, chronic infections that could take place in the colorectal problem. And some people, they ignore these early signs and they think that it's funny to have chronic constipation when they fart. It is so smelling. I know this one guy, I stopped hanging out with him because, listen, whenever he farts, the whole lobby would know. It was that bad. This could be you. Maybe you're not watching this video now, and maybe you're watching later on. You need to up your willingness to learn. If you're not going to the bathroom every single day, you need to find different ways. Because I already been on the Facebook forums. I've been on these forums where people are not finding solution to their problems, and they are just crying out to the Facebook community, I need a solution right here. And they are always posting anonymously. These Facebook pages, they're not just a couple of hundreds people. No. There are hundreds, tens and thousands of them. In just about every language. How do I know chronic constipation is such a big problem? I've done the keyword analysis. Keyword analysis simply, when people go on Google, when people go on Bing, Yahoo, whatever, what are people actually typing in every single day? It's 2025. We can't even fix chronic constipation. The number of people keying in this keyword where they're looking for chronic constipation relief is only growing year and year over time. We can do all this technicals. We can't even fix chronic constipation, and they want to keep it that way. Let me tell y'all, the reason why you're seeing these problems persist because they want you to go down this dark path, and you go see one GI doctor to the next. You take another medication, it doesn't work. It's always something else. Before you know it, they're going to introduce you to a psychotherapist or a psychologist and tell you, hey, maybe it's all in your head. No, if you're not going to the bathroom every single day, I'm just saying there's putrefying waste material sitting inside of you. They're building up in layers in the walls of your colon. They're going to cause you health problems, pain, and discomfort. So I went down on this path, right? So I do have a program that I teach and sell. You guys can see if this is right for you. Perfectly fine. I also have other things that are very, very inexpensive. PDFs, they're under $10. You guys can look at. What you guys got to do, you can just click over here and then If you go to the real John Chow, right? I have other offerings here. I have a PDF here, it's only $8 that talks about how to get rid of internal parasites. Another topic most doctors don't look into. I have another PDF, only $8. Improve your liver health, increase energy and sex drive. And one step at a time, you got to move your way up. Coming back to the Teachability Index, what is your willingness to learn? But learning is not enough. Having a whole bunch of information in your downloads folder isn't enough. Why do I charge this information? I used to give it out for free, or I will give it out at such a deep discount, making it very affordable for people to buy. But what did I realize when I do things like that? People just overlook it. It's like it's another PDF in their downloads folder. They're not going to pay attention to it. They're not going to crack it open to read it. That's why I keep upping my prices, right? Willingness to accept change. Once it's on their radar, once they actually put their energy, it's like, wow, I have to exchange a lot of my time for this information. Then they'd be like, oh, I'm going to actually do these protocols. I have to set time aside and do them. Me personally, since 2019, I've been doing protocols how to clean out the small and large intestines. And there are protocols that you can do in the comfort of your own home using very simple ingredients. These are the simple ingredients, but you need to know how to mix it in the right ratios. You need to know how to prepare yourself before doing this protocol. You need to know how to drink it properly. You'll probably find other protocols online, and many of them, they will fail. I have coached this through hundreds and hundreds of people all over the world, not just in English. I've taught this in Chinese, people in Malaysia, people in Singapore, I translated my program in Arabic, okay? And people are finding great success with this program. So this is the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge, lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym. I also offer coaching with this. And some of you may think that, well, this is so expensive. Let me tell you something else. Let me tell you what is expensive, okay? When you're at the hospital and you're dealing with this, that's expensive. When you're at the hospital, you're dealing with this, that's expensive. That's expensive. Do you know what an ileoanal anastomosis is all about? So this procedure right here, they removed your entire colon. What is your colon? This green section right here. They completely removed it right here. This is the toxin megacolon that they extracted. But how do you use the bathroom? How do you poop going forward? They're going to use the remaining portion of your small intestine, and they're going to reattach it to your anus. Maybe some of you do not believe me. Go look up these procedures. Once I start going down on this path, not only just looking at what they have to offer in the medical industrial complex, and what do they have to offer in the naturopathic way of doing things. These ones like, whoa, listen up. I need to fix this right away. I can't let this thing sit. And many people, you let these problems sit for too long. Your 1 to 2 days chronic constipation, it's going to be 3 to 4 days. Then it's going to be 4 to 5 days. It's going to be 5 to 6 days. Before you know it, you're a whole week into it. I know ladies that I've coached young in their 20s. Some of them don't use the bathroom for a whole week at a time. And they think they're going to be all right. They're not going to be okay. So when I can deliver something that could help them, and my program is not for everybody. This is not professional medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. You have to find a winning combination for yourself. You have to say, all right, what's out there? Maybe I need to work with an experienced colon hydrotherapist. This is colon hydrotherapy, or they call it a colonic. And what they do is they have you sit here on this apparatus, and the colon hydrotherapist is going to put hot water through your rectum to help excavate this waste material out of your body. I know it sounds crazy, but look these up. I'm not making up any of this stuff. My protocol, we don't do that. We're not doing enemas. We just have to mix these ingredients together in the right proportions, and you drink it down on an empty stomach, which is going to produce a crazy laxative effect, which is called a diarrhea tsunami. And many people, once again, do not believe me when I share this with them. Well, I'm going to make it a believer out of them. Trust. Trust. You understand? So just want to thank you for being on this call, but I just want to see if you guys have any questions for me on this call. Now, if you guys want to get Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command completely for free, once again, that's the link. I just popped it into the chat. I'm popping it into the chat. And you guys can look into it, see if it's right for you. But you want to use the coupon code. The coupon code is YWIYC. You guys hear? You have to use the coupon code YWIYC. After you go on the page and you hit buy now. See, once you hit apply, you get this program completely for free. Come back up in here, fill out your contact, billing, payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. They just want to find people who are actually serious. That's it. Okay? So that's the second lesson. Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. You guys got to get the CD set or the audio set because I'm just going through them very, very quickly. And Kevin's going to explain them into much in-depth detail. And he's having a conversation with the audience. This CD set or audio series is so valuable because people that want to see him in person, they had to pay $10,000. This is years and years ago. And this is before all the accommodation, before the flights, all the lodging expenses. People had to pay $10,000. And now he's giving it out for free. I don't know how long he's going to be doing this. So you guys take advantage of this program while you can. So the next lesson, before I jump on, is the training balance scale. This is such an exciting lesson. Just give me a little bit of a break, okay? And you guys can put in your questions so I can help you guys answer. Give me a little bit of break before I... Training balance scale. What is this all about? And every single year I listen to the CD set or the audio set because it deepens my understanding how these lessons, they all interconnect, or I see them in a different light. Seeing them in a different light, life is really unlocking these lessons one by one. All right, here we go. What is the training balance scale? The training balance scale, now think of a scale that tilts back and forth. On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel. What is your why at a very, very deep level? What are your dreams, your goals, your attitude, your mental processes, your vibration? What is your internal motivation? That's on one side of the scale. How you think and how you feel at a very, very core level. Not just, oh, I had some positive mental attitude for 5 minutes. At a very core level. On the other side of the scale are the how techniques, specific actions, strategies, action steps, your plans, activities, your physical actions. So on one side of the scale is about how you think and how you feel. On the other side of the scale, it's about your specific techniques or your strategies. In the world of personal development, people are always stressed about, oh, you don't know, and you cannot achieve the goals that you want because you don't know the strategies. You don't know the specific techniques. You don't know the action steps. So come back, get another book. When you come back, take another course. And you're always in that cycle of getting more techniques, more strategies. And right now, if you have ChatGPT, it could come up with a whole bunch of activities and physical actions for you to perform. Is that what we're really missing here? So according to Kevin, he says you need to place a lot more emphasis on how you think and how you feel at a very core, fundamental level. And I think what he's referring to is this chart many of you have talked about for a long time, or you've seen before. It deals with your conscious thinking, your conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. The conscious thinking only commands 5% of your mental capacity. That is your short-term memory, your logical thinking, your willpower, decisions, and analysis. And you can see how this is very limited. Down here in the unconscious thinking is who you actually are at the fundamental level. What are your habits and beliefs? Your true identity. What's really going on down there? Your creativity, your self-worth and imagination, your self-confidence, your long-term memory, even your automatic bodily functions is being controlled by the subconscious mind or the unconscious thinking. How you're breathing right now, your respiratory rate, your blood pH is being managed by your subconscious mind. Your blood sugar managed by your subconscious mind. We call this homeostasis. Now, there is a person inside of you, there's an image inside of you right now that is controlling everything. And you can call them the dark occult, you can call it the parasitic elite, you can say the people who are in control, in power. What are they trying to install? You were born for success. You were designed to be successful in life, but you've been programmed to fail. You've been programmed to fail. How do they program you to fail? Well, you were trained to watch these TV shows at a very early age. Okay, you're trained to watch people like Hank Hill, Homer Simpson, this guy on Cheers. Okay, Al Bundy, Married with Children, watching The Family Guy. Even people love Cartman. Cartman, he's fat. Okay, even the characters that you watch, and you begin to identify with these characters that you see on TV. And they will have a profound impact on your self-image. And that's going to be the training balance scale that we're talking about, how you think and how you feel at a very core, fundamental level. You think you have goals. You think you have the right attitude or the right mental process, the right vibration. I'm sure many of you heard this quote many times before. You become what you think about most of the time. When I was in middle school and high school, right, people go back home. I started to develop this habit of, hey, I'm going to go back home, finish on my homework so I can enjoy an episode of Simpsons, for example. So I began watching Homer Simpson, and you can see how these characters are very consistent across the board. Here's Hank Hill. He lives in a very average neighborhood, average everything, goes to an average job, right? And he has average friends. And what do they look forward to? They just hang around, drink beer, right? And many people, they identify or they say, I love Hank. He's so relatable. When I watch him, I just feel at ease. And this begins at a very early age, especially if you watch this at home in your teenage years. Perhaps you're watching this TV show with your parents. Many parents, they go back home. What do? They pop in their microwave dinner. And once it's ready, they put it on in front of the television and they watch different TV shows like this with their kids. Then they catch a few minutes of the nightly news. Then they pop it over. And there's one TV show after the next. After that, they might watch Homer Simpson. After that, they're going to be a reruns with Cheers. After that, they might watch Married with Children, Al Bundy. You can see these characters one after the next. They have a beer belly. They don't really live any exciting lives. They're not doing any personal development. They have a nagging wife. And that's why the American father, they turn out to be a whole bunch of losers. Because they keep identifying with themselves with these characters. Because they're so relatable. They have a nagging wife as well, and they have kids that don't respect them. And every day it's like, oh yeah. And they might even go to work the next day and talk about what they watched last night with Married with Children, maybe Family Guy, with South Park. And you think about, this is how they program you for failure, because you become what you think about most of the time. They're so confident in their programming. There are these dad bod mannequins. And people don't think there's anything wrong having a dad bod anymore. And they're going to put up all this information or propaganda and say, hey, you see all these girls, they prefer a guy with a dad bod. They prefer a guy with them. And eventually, you just go down on this path, your health gets worse and worse every single year, doesn't get any better. And now you're in the trap. You're in the trap. Your health is getting worse. You go into the medications, doesn't work. Go to another doctor, prescribe, doesn't work. And that's how they get you. They get you, they want to keep you in a state of suffering, not just mentally, but also physically. So you can go to one doctor after the next. After that, you might go to a psychotherapist, a psychologist. It's about maximizing lifetime customer value. They don't want you to have any free time to yourself where you can actually think and actually do anything with personal development. They don't want you to think like that. They just want you to suffer. Okay. They want you to be in a state of just barely making it by, week after week, month after month. And that's basically people's whole life. Let me tell you why people, they have a persistent dad bod. Why do people have a persistent dad bod in the West? If you keep on following these TV shows, I guarantee you, you're going to have a dad bod, even though you may be working out very hard 6 months of the year. You have a short-term mentality. You tell yourself, I got to look good in the summertime, which is hit July. I want to get Instagram photos ready. So for 6 months of the year, you're working hard at the gym. This only works when you're in your 20s, okay? And all right, so you get the six-pack abs back, get the photos taken in the summertime. But what happens once fall hits? See, you've been installed with this image inside of you. It is so deep. It is so deep. When fall kicks in, your activity level goes down. You're going to eat a little bit more. And what happens when October rolls around, even before Halloween, there's going to be all these cupcakes, all these pumpkin pies. And if you work in tech, like as I did, I used to work in tech, we had all the free drinks all day, every single day. We had Starbucks coffee. You can just make it with a press of a button. You can add all the sugar that you can possibly have. People are not healthy because inside of them, inside their image or self-image is a dad bod. They have a persistent dad bod just sitting down there in their subconscious mind. I'm talking, it is so deep, it is down here. Their true habits and beliefs, their identity, their creativity, their self-worth, their imagination, their self-confidence, their long-term memory is a dad bod. As Thanksgiving rolls by, what happens? People eat a little bit more. You may go to multiple Thanksgiving dinners. What happens next? You're going to gain a little bit more weight. Christmas, more Christmas dinners, multiple Christmas dinners. And a couple days after Christmas, what do you have? You're going to be drinking at the bar for a New Year's celebration. Of course, your body is going to roll back into a dad bod. And they also give you a way out. You identify with Hank over here, right? You're like, identify with Hank, but they give you a way out. Because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, at least I'm not disgusting like Bill. Or another way you can say, maybe identify with Homer Simpson, but at least I'm not disgusting like, is it Barney? Yeah, I think it's Barney. Barney Gumble, that's his name, right? So but trust, if you go down on this path, you keep on watching these TV shows, they're installing these characters inside your subconscious mind. And when you get an apartment for the first time, and you have an open fridge, for whatever reason, you find yourself buying a case of beer and putting it in there. Because you've seen it so many times on TV. And that's what a training balance skill, what it deals with at a very, very deep level. It's not just, oh, I thought about something positive for 5 minutes and my life is just going to turn around all of a sudden. It doesn't work like that. It's much, much deeper. I just want to bring that to y'all's attention. Okay. And the last lesson is the 4 steps to learning. Let's talk about what this is all about. The 4 steps to learning, we all go through these 4 steps to learning. You go from a place of unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You're going to move your way up to conscious incompetence. You know that you don't know something. Later on, you're going to move into conscious competence. You know that you know something. Later on, you're going to move into unconscious competence. You know, and success is automatic. These are powerful, powerful lessons. We all go through these stages. I don't care what you're learning. There's always a deeper level of understanding and application if you're willing to apply yourself. Let's just say you're trying to ride a bicycle for the first time. You don't know what you're doing. Your parents may even have a tricycle for you or training wheels on. And they're going to help and coach you getting back on that bike. And they're going to teach you, hey, you got to put your hand on these handles right here. And you're going to pedal just like this to get some forward momentum going. They might even give you a little bit of a push on the back. Unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. And later on, you're going to move into something called conscious incompetence. You're watching your neighborhood kids. They've been riding their bicycles for a couple of years now. They are very, very adept. Some of them are riding their bicycles without their hand on their handles, or they are popping wheelies. And you're like, man, I don't know what I'm doing here on my tricycles. But you're going to get better at riding a bicycle over time and let that fire and wire inside of you, not just at a conscious level, it's going to be installed in your neurology. Over time, you're going to become conscious competent at riding a bicycle. You don't know everything about riding, but you're going to get back on that bike. Maybe now you can actually begin to balance. You're off the training wheels, getting off that bicycle, getting off the tricycle, and you're riding the bike. And you may have that bike fall over, but you get back up, pick yourself back up, and before you know it, you are becoming more efficient and proficient at riding a bicycle. You become unconscious competent. You get a call from your friends and they say, hey, we're going to go ride our bikes. And you just hop on your bike and go. We all go through these different stages and we get better and better at a particular skill set. Life is like that. And you have that bicycle, riding a bicycle installed so deeply, maybe for years, you don't even ride a bike. You go to college, you start working, you're driving your car all the time, but you might take a family vacation. Family member says, there's a cool bike trail that I heard about. We're going to get some bike rentals. In that moment, you're not going to freak out and be like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. It's been such a long time. No, you're going to have every bit of confidence because you've installed the skill set of riding a bicycle a long time ago. You're going to hop on that bike. I don't care what type of brand it is. And off you go. Life is like that. But you also have to recognize that there's always another level to learning whatever you're learning. Some people, they say, hey, I know how to run, right? But what type of runner are you? What are you suited for? Obviously, most people that are watching this, they're not Olympic athletes. They're not running and representing their country. So are you a distance runner? Or are you a short distance runner? And how these two people run are very, very different. What do they focus on? There are levels to this. So one person to the next, from between gold and silver, fractions and fractions of a second. Well, to get to that level, you have to always go back from a place of unconscious competence, and you're going to learn something that's going to take you to a place of unconscious incompetence. That's perfectly okay. Me, going on this journey of personal health, I also had to go through these different stages. I thought go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, I had to do just the detox. But once I do the detox, I learn something more about internal parasites. I started to learn about how I can clean out internal parasites out of my body. So that's what's the next thing that I learned. But I didn't just stop there. I also learned how I can flush out gallstones out of the gallbladder, or getting rid of the intrahepatic stones out of the liver. Now, many of you have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's perfectly fine, right? Because there is so much that we don't know. The more that you learn, the more that you don't know. And that's perfectly true. But how willing are you to dive back in to the next set of books, to the next set of audio CDs, to go to another online course, or go to another conference in person? We talk about these lessons today. The first lesson, who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Second lesson, what is your teachability index? What is your willingness to learn? And what is your willingness to accept change? Okay. Next lesson, training balance scale. How you think and how you feel. What are your dreams and goals and attitude at a very, very core level? Not a superficial level, but do you really understand what have they installed inside of you? You have both positive programming and also negative programming. You need to differentiate both. And I will also include things like inner vows that you made consciously or unconsciously over the years. That stuff is holding you back from going to the next level in your self-development. And that's part of the training balance scale. The how action specific techniques, while they're important, they're not as important as how you think and how you feel. Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, right? He didn't write the book, you need to know all the action steps, then you can grow rich. He didn't write that. So I don't know anybody else is on this call. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to help you answer. And then lastly, 4 steps to learning. It doesn't matter if you're riding a bike, doesn't matter if you're tying shoelaces, doesn't matter if you're learning how to use chopsticks. You're going to go through this progression of unconscious incompetence, moving your way to conscious incompetence, moving your way up to conscious competence, moving your way up to unconscious competence. And then be perfectly okay when something else opens up that knocks you all the way back to square one. You thought you were an expert. Everybody thinks they know how to tie shoes, okay? For a lot of y'all guys out there, you don't know how to tie shoes. You need to go to an expensive department store, and go to Nordstrom's, okay? And have those people there, have the salespeople over there teach you how to tie shoes. Because many people there are not doing it right. I'm talking about guys. And you go from a place of, oh, I know what I'm doing. You might be doing something wrong the whole time. Have you thought about that? You might be doing something so proficiently, been doing it for such a long time, but you've been doing it wrong the whole time. So I want to thank y'all for being on this call, okay? Oh, there was another program I got to share with y'all. Listen, pay attention to this program. You got to design a new future self. You need to install a new person inside of you if you want to make it in the world of personal development. I was not going to get a 6-pack abs until I had to see myself with 6-pack abs inside my subconscious mind. First, you need to have a clear picture of your future self. Who this person actually is. What does this person look like? How does this person communicate? How does this problem respond to people, events, circumstances, setbacks? Okay, can you provide information or some clarity to this future self? I have a good friend. He recently put together this program and I went through it. I'm still going through it. I use it every single day. He helped you turn your future self into a personalized AI coach using ChatGPT, using 3 simple prompts. If it's something that you're interested in, if you are looking to get more clarity on your next steps, if you want clarity, if you want daily accountability that fits your style, and guidance that actually sticks, using the only mentor who truly gets you. Listen, y'all, you guys need to look into this program. I've been using this. I think it's very powerful. I think for only $10, and there's money back guarantee. If you don't like this program for whatever reason, if you want to learn a little bit more about AI, how it can help you get your goals done, this is the one to get. And I'm sure this is for a limited time offer. I don't know how long Brad's going to have this program on. Brad is a personal friend of mine. I've known him for 15 years. I've known him since 2012. I know it sounds crazy, right? But he is somebody very, very well respected in the world of personal development. If you know Jack Canfield, if you know Brian Tracy, he works with people like that and their team. He is the coach to other coaches. If people are having struggles in their business, they call Brad. Not only that, he has a 90-day program. I also want you guys to check. If you want to reset, if you want to learn more about AI, how you can integrate it into your life, because Brad, people always have him evaluate a whole bunch of AI tools, right? So within here, he has a 4-week program. The first week, it's going to help reset your attention. Next week, it's going to help you reclaim your identity, help you clarify your core values. You got to have a future lens framework. Later on, it's going to give you tools within AI, ChatGPT, different tools that are out there that could streamline your workflow, design your inner environment. You want to first design your future self and then move like your future self. And he has it all laid out for you in this program. So I'm going to also include this program, the details of this program in the chat. You guys can check that out. That'll be very, very helpful for you. But coming back to the top, do you guys have any questions for me today? We went through a lot of information. We went through Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command, how to manifest your desires, the major lessons that were talked about in that CD series. Who do you listen to? Teachability Index. We got Training Balance Scale, 4 steps. We talk a lot about the subconscious mind. Who you really are is not the person you see in the mirror. Okay? Who you really are is underneath the surface, below where nobody else sees. But eventually that's going to surface. It's going to show up in the mirror. And you can find different ways to uninstall maybe certain thought patterns that you no longer want to hold. And you said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to create a new future self. I want to install new habits and beliefs. I want to install new values and identity. I want to install new confidence and imagination. You can do that. That is available. And that's what Kevin teaches in his program, Your Wish is Your Command. So get his CD program completely for free. Once again, how do you get it for free? You can go to any one of my videos and you're just going to simply tap on this link in my descriptions. You're going to see the sales page. You're going to tap buy now, tapping buy now, take into an order form. You want to use the coupon code YWIYC. You can use all caps or lowercase, doesn't matter. Hit apply. Once you hit apply, discount code's been applied. Getting it for $0. Come back on top, fill in your contact, billing, payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. They just want to find people who are serious. Then you're going to check your email. If it's not in your inbox, check your spam folder. If it's in your spam folder, we drag it back into your inbox. And from there, tap on that email, tap on the link in the email, and you'll get access to this program. So welcome for being on this call. If you have any questions for me regarding your wishes or command or anything that I was discussed earlier today, and we discussed digestive health. We talked about my own personal journey recovering my own health, and I use Kevin Trudeau's "Your Wish is Your Command" to help me recover my own health. Right? Now I'm doing this for other things as well, but I want y'all to know, listen, I'm no longer struggling with weight loss rebound. I am consistently healthy, knock on wood, all day, every day, throughout the whole year. And my goal is to keep it that way, but I have to increase my teachability index, right? Because every single year I'm going to unlock new information. Years before, I learned about detox, cleaning out the small and large intestines. Then I unlock that, kind of like a video game. I also clean out internal parasites out of my body, unlock that, go to the next level, learn about liver health, pancreas health, how I can release gallstones out of the gallbladder, also intrahepatic stones out of the liver, did that. And now I'm doing kidney health. There are different detox teas that you can take to help you dissolve kidney stones, to flush them out of your kidneys. If you're having kidney problems, it's very likely you're going to have bladder problems. It's very likely you're going to have prostate problems if you're a guy. That's what happens. So thank you so much for being on this call. Have an amazing rest